A very good evening, ma'am. Thank you for joining us today. We have a very special guest today with us, and she is none other than Sandhya Godey. So one thing that has always, inspired me about her is the way she carries herself. She is a perfect example of someone who is beautiful inside out. So that is something that I always look up to her. Be it any events in the city or any initiatives that happen in the city, I've always seen her in the forefront, and that has always been an empowering example in our own city of destiny. So, thank you so much for being with us today, ma'am. And I'm really, really very proud to host you today in our show. And I'm sure the audience out there would really be eager in knowing as to what your journey has been and what you have contributed through your initiatives in the city. So, just a small introduction that I would like to make about her is Sandhya believes that enriching the world around you in an unconditional manner with a true human empathy and compassion provides the deepest fulfillment. This itself is a beautiful message that starts her bio. A graduate degree in science and a postgraduate degree in business administration gave her an academic grounding for her mission in life. However, the motivation and inspiration to find her true purpose came from her heart. This passion led her to identifying multiple opportunities to teach what she has learned and give what she has got. Having traveled the length and breadth of the country as a daughter of an officer in the Indian Air Force, she feels she belongs to the large Indian canvas without any regional boundaries that bind her. She is able to connect to different people, places, customs, traditions, and string them all together as a singular experience. That I know I can speak a lot about you, ma'am. But then, while reading this intro of yours, what struck me is you come from a defense background. So, what are the kind of life lessons you have learned having grown up in such a background?
Thank you so much, Reshma, for having me here. It's an honor, it's a pleasure, it's a privilege to be sharing my story because each one of us has a story unlike any other.
Absolutely.
And thank you so much for having me here.
Pleasure.
Like you mentioned, I come from a defense background. My father was an officer in the Indian Air Force. And being part of a defense family is like unlike any other experience you would find in any other vocation, only because you don't know what comes next.
Correct.
Like every officer trains for war, eventually every officer every day is training for war.
Yes.
So the family also just takes it day by day. We have lived in one room. The whole family of five has lived in a one bedroom, a one room uh, house.
Okay.
We have lived in big bungalows. We have traveled in intervals of, my father had the transfers in 5 months, 1 year. 4 years was the longest we stayed anywhere.
Okay.
So you're always prepared for the unknown. You
Correct.
learn to take what comes your way with grace, with
Right.
acceptance, and with joy. Because
Yes.
you could have a Punjabi neighbor and you love their chole bhature. You
Yes.
could have a Gujarati neighbor and freak out on the dhoklas of Maharashtrian neighbors. So you like to experiment,
Yes.
and acceptance is a way of life.
Yes.
So I think that has held all of us, the whole family, in good stead. We have uh, learned to deal with anything that's come our way,
Right.
and I think, I personally feel everybody should be in the defenses at least for a short duration, just to be able to appreciate what they do for us.
Absolutely. I think that is how people need to appreciate what they've got and be happy with what they have. I think
Yes,
that's the message that you would like to
totally,
share.
totally.
Right. So this journey of yours, I'm sure, has been it had its own challenges, but yes, it also gave you life lessons. So now moving forward, there was one initiative of yours which really fascinated me, and that is something called as speaking chalk. So would you please share with our audience as to what this initiative is what this initiative means, and also how has it been an impactful initiative in the city?
So speaking chalk started quite by accident, like I think many good things. Um, a friend's father wanted me to help children in his school, and when I went there, I realized that 10th standard was very late to teach them spoken English or some life skills, because
Correct.
by then they would have learned so many things that are not the correct way.
Correct.
This is not to undermine any school education system, but the school education system has its own challenges. They have syllabus to finish, exams to complete, different other rules that they have to follow. So they don't find time to have
Correct.
extra things.
Correct.
So, and when you're trying to teach a child something in the 10th standard, you have to make them unlearn so many things.
Correct.
So then, out of sheer force or need, we said that okay, starting at 10th standard is not a good idea, so we have to start from class 1. So you teach them correct phonics, teach
Mm-hmm.
them correct way of pronouncing or using a word.
Right.
So then I called upon friends, friends of friends, friends of friends of friends,
Okay.
and I think that's how we built one network
Okay.
where every year we need in a school, we go to just one school every
Okay.
year, and in that school to teach the classes from class 1 to class 10,
Okay.
we need between 25 to 35 volunteers depending
Okay.
on how many sections there are.
Okay.
So we go there every Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
and the schools have very kindly given us that 1 hour in their timetable,
Okay.
because taking responsibility for so many children before school or after school
It's not
is a
possible.
huge task.
Mm-hmm.
So they have very kindly made carved that 1 hour out,
Okay.
and I don't remember why we chose a Thursday,
Okay.
but we have stuck to that Thursday uh, for all these 7 years that Speaking Chalk has been working.
Thursday in Hindi means Guruvar.
Guruvar. Oh,
Guruvar,
that's
yeah.
nice. That's nice coincidence.
Yes.
So we go every Thursday, and we form our own syllabus based on the intake level of the student.
Okay.
Because what works in one school doesn't work in the other school. And this we have
Correct.
learned by trial and error.
Yeah,
So
correct.
the first few weeks, we try and gauge how the students are doing, how much of English they can understand, and how much of bilingual teaching we need to do.
Okay.
Bilingual teaching is a must.
Okay.
Otherwise, the children don't understand what we are saying. They might know the word, they might be able to spell the word,
Right.
but most times we find they don't know the meaning and they
Meaning.
cannot use it in a written or oral language.
Right.
So, our attempt has usually been to teach everything bilingual,
Mm-hmm.
so that even if they learn 5 sentences, they understand and they can repeat it somewhere else.
Got it.
So we give them real life scenarios, we give them basic introductions. How would you answer a telephone? How would you talk to a storekeeper? So it's very
Right.
basic, but we want to give them that skill that when they step out into the world,
Yes.
they don't feel intimidated
Yes.
by the English language,
Correct.
which is a necessity these days.
Absolutely, I think.
Because even if you want to do computers,
Hmm.
the language is English.
Yes.
Yes, there are translations, there are interpretations, and all that. It's a reality that English is
Yes,
needed.
yes. But for that matter, I think any field you take, right?
Any
You
field.
venture into any field, English or communication skills is something that is very basic. And I think if you have that in your hand, you can actually do something in your life.
It gives you confidence.
Yes.
So earlier we started in a school called the AU English Medium School,
Okay.
and our group was simply called AU English Medium School Volunteers.
Okay.
And then we did a program with Tanishk to raise, to collect a book drive. We did a storybook drive because the
Okay.
school didn't have a library,
Okay.
and we wanted children to read books.
Correct.
But how you can't expect that standard of children to buy storybooks.
Correct.
So we said we'll collect, and Rana Opal from Tanishk was very kind. He clubbed it with the event they were having to launch a new jewelry range,
Okay.
and we called it, I think, Queens of Vizag.
Okay.
And so we collected a lot of storybooks.
Right.
And then when he asked me what, like he wanted to make a poster And he said, so what is your group called? And then we said, AU English Medium School.
Okay.
And he said, no, no, you need a name. So we did some quick thinking on the group, and we came up with Speaking Chalk.
Wow.
Speaking because we do spoken English,
Okay.
and chalk is the ultimate warrior, a
Yes.
weapon of a teacher. So
Yes.
that's how Speaking Chalk came about. And
Lovely.
so we have moved schools since then. Currently, we are with the Prem Samajam English Medium, Prem Samajam School
Okay.
in Daba Gardens.
Okay.
This is our third year with them,
Wonderful.
and we are very happy to see little progress. That little, when you say something, okay, last year we did nouns, do you remember? Maybe they don't remember it fully, but they're not unfamiliar with the term.
Yes.
So
Yes.
with a little jogging of memory, little examples, and then they spring back, and it really makes
Right.
our hearts glad.
Absolutely.
It is disappointing sometimes, it is frustrating sometimes, but it gives us a lot of joy most times. When a child answers well in class, when a child just participates, so
Yes.
we tell them, see, this is not an exam, there is no exam.
Yes.
Don't feel afraid. This is like riding a cycle. You
Correct.
do not get onto a cycle and ride it. You need to fall a couple times. So this is like this.
Yes.
Make mistakes. We will correct you. Don't forget the correction.
Yes.
And yes, not everybody in this class is of the same caliber. But if we find that spark, even in a
Yes.
few students, we are happy.
Yes.
And at the end of the last academic session, we actually did a year-end program.
Okay.
Every class put up a item.
Okay.
They were put on stage.
Okay.
Of course, we didn't have very fancy costumes or anything. Our volunteers did make some efforts.
Okay.
Justice DVS Somyajlu was our chief guest,
Okay.
and every class did a brilliant job. Their
Wow.
confidence on stage
Wow.
blew us away. We were, of course, a little nervous because this was the first time it was a fully English program. We said there is no Telugu at all. Of
Yes.
course, we rehearsed, but still, like parents, we were very nervous,
Yes.
but they did us proud.
That's so amazing.
And the topics they did were fabulous. All emotions are okay.
Mm-hmm.
All people are not equal.
Mm-hmm.
There were nursery rhymes, there were skits.
Okay.
Uh, I think one class did Red Riding Hood, one class sang Do Re Mi. So the whole gamut of it.
Yes.
And it was so heartwarming. We felt so rewarded.
Yes, absolutely. I think that what makes us satisfied, right? When there is something that we can give, just like your bio said, you want to give what you have got. I mean, that itself is a message. So similarly, I think you are doing what it actually means. So just like you spoke about confidence, that seeing the confidence of those children is something that made you very happy, and it makes our souls also satisfied. So this also reminds me that there are a couple of sessions that you have done in colleges where you have taught them some skills and some values that you have imbibed in them. So can you speak a little bit more on what that event was, and how important are, apart from the life skills, how important are some values that we need to always be on?
So values are something, it is like the lifeline. Unless it is strong, your heart's going to stop sometime.
Yes.
So if your values are not right, you will fall. Maybe, initially it might take you places, it might give you wealth, it might give you fame, but eventually it will lead to a downfall.
Yes.
And we have spoken in colleges and schools about this. And even in business, I work with the women's wing of the VCCI,
Okay.
and we do a student entrepreneurship program for students
Okay.
in association with Geetam University.
Okay.
And the first class is on values.
Wow.
So that is how important people think, business is all about money or
Money,
location or
power.
power
Yeah.
or raw material or product. No,
Yes.
it is about the values. If you don't have the
Absolutely.
right value, your product isn't going very far. Neither is your business.
Yes,
So
yes.
it
I
is
think that's the
something
foundation stone, right? And it's
foundation.
so undervalued. I mean, this is something that has to be the topmost.
That's the topmost, and that's why that's the first lesson the professors from Geetam always say. Like,
Yes.
what do you think is most important in a business? And the children usually say money, location. They do hear Peter
Yeah.
Drucker from here and there,
Yeah.
and the location, location, location.
Correct.
But this is no, it is values, and then
Absolutely.
he proves it to them, and so it has a very lasting impression on them.
Correct. Correct. Now that you said about this, could you share a few values that have shaped you as a human?
Honesty,
Okay.
integrity,
Okay.
uh, pride in the country,
Right.
because I have seen my father. Of course I was too young then, but I have heard that he was part of a couple of wars,
Okay.
and every day till he came home,
Mm-hmm.
my mother wasn't sure whether there was no WhatsApp, there was
Right.
no telephones also. Like, he was posted in Srinagar in the 1965 war,
Right.
and till my mother could see the airfield being bombed from where we were living.
Right.
So till he came home, she would never know that he's going to come home.
Right.
So when somebody are ready to give their life for the country,
Hmm.
till today I cannot sit when our national anthem is being played, whether
Yes.
it's on television, anywhere. I know people laugh at me, but that's okay with me. I do what I
Yes.
want to do.
Absolutely.
That's what I believe in.
Yes.
So honesty to yourself first, and to the people who trust you. Put in the best you can. My father was in the education line also, and he always told his students, if you want to be a carpenter, be one, but be a good one. So give the best you can, and it will show results. So that is what we have learned. That's what I believe in. That's what I tell the students I'm dealing with now.
Right.
And honesty to yourself, I think, is very, very important. If you can't look yourself in the mirror, you can't sleep well at night.
Absolutely. Very true, very true. And I think these values only build up as we grow up. And as in the beginning I've said, I have always seen you as that kind of a lady who has values intact, for people like me and for people like me who are budding in whatever field they are. It is an eye opener for us, because when I see you as an example, it is like I learn so many things from you. And the way you carry yourself, the way you deal with people, the way you empower people. So these are some things that have always been very close to my heart. So now that you spoke about values, I would also like you to speak on women empowerment, because I've seen you in so many places. Wherever you are, you spread a ray of light. So there are many people around you who, without your knowledge, might also get empowered. But yes, with your knowledge, I'm sure there are many who have been empowered. So what do you think about women empowerment in this scenario?
I might sound like a feminist, but I always have felt that women are empowered. They have powers that men cannot even match.
Right.
Like the other day, somebody was, it's an anecdote.
Hmm.
Somebody was telling a lady that, okay, let me hold your parcel, and you can wipe your glasses. She
Okay.
says, which woman does one thing with two hands? So
Right.
I think without even realizing,
Right.
women are doing so many things at home, outside these days, and they don't make any special effort. They don't tom about it. They don't get a medal for it. They're not given a certificate for it. They do it so naturally.
Yes.
So women are empowered as far as I'm concerned. Maybe sometimes they lack a sense of direction.
Yes.
They are confused about what they would like to do,
Yeah.
or maybe they just don't know the way forward.
Right.
I believe in strong teamwork. Any team that works together automatically learns from each other.
Correct.
And when you learn from each other and you accept that there is something to learn, I think you're in the right direction. If you're the kind who feels I have nothing to learn, then you're going to stay where you are. You will never
Correct.
move forward.
Correct.
So I have had the opportunity of working with many teams.
Okay.
We ran a school for some time. We ran a hotel for some time. I was the chairperson of the ladies committee at Voltaire Club twice.
Okay.
I'm currently the president of the women's wing of the Vizag Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm the founder of Speaking Chalk. And everywhere, my strength is the team I work with.
Yes.
You give people responsibility, they will prove themselves.
Yes.
When you believe in them, I think they believe in themselves. And
Correct. And that's the true meaning of empowerment, right?
you don't have
Because
to,
many of us do not believe in ourselves, and that has to come from someone, and then
yes.
it's like, yes, I can do it. Yeah.
And it's not even something, it's not a conscious thing also. You do it so naturally,
Naturally.
it goes with the flow of things. You say that, okay, this is what has to be done.
Yes.
Some people may not know how to do it, but they will
Yes.
ask questions, they will learn, and they're a better person after that.
Yes.
So that's it. I don't specifically go out to empower anybody,
Right.
but I think it just goes with the
I think that also
territory.
happens naturally. So
Yes, it just goes happens naturally.
yes, yes. And just like as you said, there's so much that we can learn from teams. So, and I also believe that, teamwork makes the dream work. So that is how well you portray it, and how well you can actually empower people around you. So that has been a perfect example, Mrs. Sandhya. Thank you so much for sharing that with us today. And I would also like to mention here that you have done a lot of events in the city, be it in the field of literature, be it in the field of drama, theater. I did see that there are a lot of events that you and your team have organized here. So, would you like to speak on what are the kind of events that you have done here, and why do you think such events are important for any city for that matter?
So the um, things that you just spoke about, the events that you just spoke about, the theater festival and the literature festival,
Yes.
are part of. Uh, they are done under the Lit Lantern Society
Okay.
that me and two other of my friends
Okay.
we curate. We've been doing this since 2018. It's a
Okay.
not for profit society
Got it.
under the name Lit Lantern.
Okay.
Lit for literature
Okay.
and lantern to spread the light.
Okay.
So Lit Lantern started by doing literary fests for the first time in the combined state of Andhra Pradesh. Till
Okay.
then, there were no lit fests specifically for children, only for
Okay.
children.
Okay.
So when Sonal, Priya, and I decided to do it, uh, it was quite a task coming up with how to do it.
Okay.
But we learned from other fests.
Okay.
We spoke to some people, and we brought the best of India's storytellers,
Wow.
children's authors, illustrators, Indian publishers,
Okay.
because we wanted to promote Indian literature.
Correct.
Our children relate so well to laddus and kites and tatas and parties and nanis
Yes.
rather than scones and muffins.
Right.
Yes, they do know about it, but
Yes.
when you're talking in the language they know very well,
Yes.
they relate better.
Yes.
And our literature is full of wonderful authors who write such heartwarming stories.
Correct.
They teach, they explore, they give you avenues to think.
Correct.
So we had wonderful authors like Rupa Pai, Paro Anand, Janki Sabish. These are all Nupur Agarwal. We had the best of India's talent,
Amazing.
and we are eternally grateful to them for placing their faith in them. We
Correct.
were nobody when we started, when we asked them the first time,
Right.
and they accepted to be here, and they are so liked by everybody that the children always ask us, so when is the next Lit Fest?
Right, right.
And every year we do bring one international storyteller also
Okay,
to bring in an international flavor
got it.
to get the children. So our aim has always been to bring new experiences to children.
Mm-hmm.
So after 2 years of the Lit Fest,
Mm.
unfortunately we had COVID.
Oh,
So
yeah,
we had to
right,
take a break of a couple years.
right.
And then we said, okay, they had Lit Fest, let's do a theatre fest.
Okay,
So when we did the Junior Theatre Fest, again, this was the first time that children, they had never been to a wholly curated children fest for
okay,
theatre.
okay.
So we again brought in India's best theatre troupes, and they brought in wonderful stories. We had workshops for the children,
Okay.
and that was again a new experience.
Yes.
So this year we are going back to where we started.
Okay.
November 24
Okay.
will see us back with a Lit
Lit
Fest.
Fest. Okay. So, anything in the pipeline as to what you have planned, or what can be, what are the guests that you are planning?
So we have a couple people who came in earlier in 2018, just I
Okay.
think two of them.
Okay.
Otherwise, they're again all. And in the meantime, there have been so many new storytellers.
Oh, okay.
It's
Okay.
been 6 years.
Right.
So we're bringing in again some very wonderful people
Great.
who have very distinct styles of
Right.
storytelling or writing.
Right.
So many new books
Hmm.
are there now. So we're bringing that, and we set up a book stall.
Okay.
So when they meet an author and who tells a story, they go and buy the book, get the book
Right.
signed by the author. So it's a wonderful experience for
Experience,
the children.
absolutely. And I think in this age of social media, and in this age of where everything is digital, these kind of events and these kind of exposures are needed, because this is how we experience a few things which cannot be
Yes,
experienced through
yes,
phones.
totally.
Right.
So that's our upcoming Lit Fest in 2024.
Amazing, amazing.
So
Nice to know
Priya
that.
Sonal and I have been working on this.
Nice to know that. Yes. So yeah, so this brings me almost to the end of the conversation, and the last question that I would like to ask you is, what is the message that you would like to give our fellow audience?
Believe in yourself, have faith in others, give. It's very easy to give.
Right.
There are so many ways to give. Many people who joined Speaking Chalk said we've always wanted to give back to society, but we didn't know how to do it, where to go and all that. But look around, there is always somebody who can do with maybe a time,
Yes.
a smile,
Yes.
or something that is of no value to you now can be used by somebody else with
Yes.
great value. I think giving time is one of the most beautiful ways of giving back,
Yes.
whether it is to old age society or to young children or to your own parents.
Yes.
I think, ghar ki murgi dal barabar types,
Huh.
we take them for granted sometimes.
Yes.
Uh, Spend time with family and just give in whatever way you
Whatever way you
can,
can.
whatever way.
Beautiful. Beautiful message. So, just like I started the conversation by saying that how you are a perfect example of somebody who's beautiful in and out, and keeping that to the name, I think you have also ended it in a very beautiful manner by giving us such beautiful messages. Thank you so much for being with us today. It was an absolute honor to host you here, and we look forward to again getting some more insights from you. Thank you so much.
Anytime, Reshma, you ask, I'll be here. It's
Sure.
always a pleasure talking with you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank